Mana ngā reo wea kūrau rangatira mā tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. My name is Kereama Te Ua. I'm one of the funding advisors here at Creative New Zealand, Toi Aotearoa. I'm going to be walking you guys through the process of applying for the Arts Continuity Grant in our portal. The Arts Continuity Grant supports short-term arts projects by artists and arts organisations, including groups and collectives, that can be delivered within the changing environment as a result of COVID-19. So the fund can support creation and development of new work, research and development towards a project, workshops, professional development, promotion or distribution. And all projects must be completed by the 30th of September. So I'm going to take you guys to our website and to the online portal where you're going to be able to have a look at the process itself and how to make an application. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is going to go to our website, www.creativenz.govt.nz. Now that's going to direct you to our page, and on the left hand side of our page at the bottom under your account, you're going to see register and log in. Kapai? So if you've already logged in and you've already started to make an application, then you're just going to carry on to click login and carry on to the application. For those who are applying for the first time, what you need to do is click on register. It'll redirect you to another page where it'll ask for a couple of your details, your name, your email address, date of birth, te mea. Kapai. Once you've done that, click register, and then an activation code will be sent to your email address. Once you've clicked on the activation code, it'll direct you back to our portal, back to the online application, where you'll be able to start to apply for the funds. Kapai. So if you've already registered and you've got a login activation code, you can just go straight into logging in. All right, once you've logged in, these three pages will pop up: applications, reports, and goals. Today, we're only going to be worrying about the applications. Kapai, so I'm going to click on View Applications, and normally this will show me every opportunity, funding opportunity that we have available for our artists at that time. All right, now, so I'm going to scroll down, and you'll see all of the opportunities, and there's only one, Kaitapai, the Arts Continuity Grant. All right, so I'm going to click in here. Once I click Apply Now, it's going to ask me if I'm going to apply as myself or as an organisation or a collective, and that's up to you, kei a koe te tikanga. But for the purpose of this exercise, I've made a draft or a fake person just so that I can demonstrate how you might be able to apply for this particular fund. Now just note that every time that you save this application, it's going to be saved as a draft at the top here, so don't worry about losing any information. If you're saving everything regularly, of course everything will be saved as the draft at the top here. So I'm going to go in here into this fake account that I've made. This guy's name was Kereama Te Ua, something like that, and he's a theatre maker. All right, so when I click into the application, you'll notice a panel at the top here. Now this panel will give us tabs that will open up different parts of this application. So what, who, how much, support material, and then signing at the bottom. If we go to the start, it's going to give us an overview of everything that we can expect in the application itself. And there's some more support material for you. So the funding guides, the budget guidelines, all of that stuff is really, really relevant to help you crafting your application. At the bottom, of course, is a checklist that you'd come back to and make sure that you've ticked them all off and got everything that you need for the assessment of your application. All right, so that's the overview. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the what section. Now, really, really important are these 4 questions at the top here. All right, so for the purpose of this exercise, I've made up a title. This title is called Poko Kohua COVID-19. The brief description of this is towards the research and development of Poko Kohua COVID-19 Te Play. Now, because we're in lockdown and we're in level 3 at the moment, I'm probably not going to be able to have any physical gatherings. So I am purposely going to focus only on the research and creation of this project. Kapai? All right, so the art form that I've chosen for this is theatre. And the funding type that I've chosen for this particular project is the Māori Arts Fund. Now, you are eligible to apply for all of these funds if you meet the criteria. To be eligible for the Māori Arts Fund, you have to be Māori, or your organisation has to be Māori led. if that organization is applying on behalf of somebody else, then that person also has to be Māori. I'm going to select the Māori Arts Fund for this particular project. Now, if you're applying for the Pacific funds, your project has to align with Kaupapa Pacifica and will be a part of the assessment. And for the General Arts Fund, everybody is eligible to apply as long as you're a New Zealand resident or New Zealand citizen. Ka pai. So I've chosen the Māori Arts Fund, and of course I've chosen for my strategic outcome that high quality arts is going to be developed, because I'm developing and researching a new play that's going to be of the highest caliber. Ka pai. Now moving down, you're going to notice that there are these 4 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these are really, really important. A lot of people have been missing these questions, and as a result, their application hasn't been assessed very well. So I really, really recommend that you answer every single question on this page. Ka pai. Let's start at the top. The first question is, in the space below, explain the central idea or kaupapa of your project and the artistic aim. Ka pai? Clear? Make sure that's clear. Number 2, explain how the project will deliver to one or more of the arts continuity program purposes and take into consideration the changing circumstances. So we have 4 to choose from. I recommend choosing a primary purpose that your project aligns with, and there may be a secondary, because you'll find that a lot of projects actually touch on one or more of these program purposes. Detail it. One of the most common comments from our assessors is that there was not enough information. It was a brilliant project though, which doesn't help anybody. So make sure that you detail it as much as you can. All right, moving down to question number 3. If applicable, explain below how your project follows the government guidelines at the time of application in relation to COVID-19. So at the moment, we're in level 3. If everybody is good, we may be in level 2. So make sure you align your project with the alert levels issued by the government at that time. Question number 4, for all applications towards the Ngātoi Māori or the Pacific Arts Fund, you must demonstrate how your project draws on bases of knowledge or pertaining to Mātauranga Māori or Kaupapa Pacifica. You have to explain how Kaupapa Pacifica or Mātauranga Māori is part of your creation process and is evident in the final product or performance. Please note, if you're applying under the General Fund, you don't have to worry about question 4. This is only for those who are applying for the Māori or the Pacific funding pool. Now, I've started a couple of sentence starters just to get you guys on the way. So just to give you an idea, for the first question, I've written "Ka tahi te whakaaro tino choice rawa atu ko tēnei," which basically means, man, this is an amazing project, and I'm going to articulate how and why this is that this is amazing. Now, the what section is really about what your project is and why you want to create it. You may even want to include your creation process. Question number 2, purpose. This project will deliver to the program purpose of, choose one of them, because, list the reasons why. I may have a primary and a secondary purpose as well if you want to detail it that far, and I recommend doing so. Number 3, this project aligns with the government's guidelines in relation to COVID-19 by, list everything that you're going to do under that alert level. So if you've applied and it's level 2, list everything that you're able to do and your strategy of being able to do that under level 2, level 3, and if we're back at level 4, all of that as well. Ka pai. So really detail and give the assessor an idea how you're going to be able to create your work. And if it looks like you're going to be going out having face-to-face hui and doing things that are not allowed during this time, it's quite likely that your application will become ineligible. It may even be ineligible if you didn't detail that. Ka pai. So make sure you answer that question. At the bottom here, of course, there's Mātauranga Māori. I'm going to apply to the Māori Arts Fund. So this is how I'm going to start my sentence. Mātauranga Māori is an integral part of my practice and is evident in the process of creating my work by, I'm going to list all the things why, all the values, all the systems of knowledge that I access, the tuakana teina system, all of that sort of stuff. So as a result, Mātauranga Māori will guide the outcome of my work. Well, guild is also a cool word you can use. Kia ora. All right. Now, just on that, now if I'm applying to the Māori Arts Fund, my title here says Poko Kohua COVID-19, but there's no tohu toa on there. And just be mindful, if you're applying for the Mātauranga Māori Fund, but you're not adding tohu toa, this could be something that you may need to look at to strengthen your application. So make sure that you get those in, and I'm going to add those in here right now. All right. Kapai, and that is the what section. Kapai, moving over to the how. Now the how is basically a timeline of how you're going to complete this project. At the top here, it's going to ask for a start and finish date. Make sure that this finish date is before the 30th of September. Now, if your project goes over or past the 30th of September, your application will become ineligible. So we're only looking at projects that can be done within this short time frame and within the confines of COVID-19. Down to the bottom here in this box here, you'll see I've already started some sentence starters, and this is just to give you an idea. In here, I'm going to put week 1, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to achieve it, and these are the things I'm going to complete. Week 2, week 3, so on and so forth. You may even add in here your creation process, all the people that you're going to be working with and how you're going to be working with them. A lot of Zoom hui or Zui are going on at the moment, or Zoom rehearsals, and this might be a place where you might want to tell us about how you're going to do that, how you're going to make it work under these confines. All right, moving along. Who? Now the who is basically everybody that's a part of your project, including yourself. Now you'll come down to here, to this little box to add a new record, and you're going to add the details of those people, including yourself, into these boxes. Now, of course, you're not going to write a line like that, but that's just to give you an idea. Once you've added that in, you'll see that the names will start to populate down the side here. All right, moving on to how much. Now this is where our people mostly get stuck, and I'm going to keep this really, really simple for you. If you're used to applying for our funds or used to using Excel spreadsheets, then go ahead and download the Excel budget template that's available for you online. Just click on this button here. It'll redirect you to another page. It's got all of our budget templates, and you're going to download the standard budget template. Kapai, gonna do that now. Kapai, once you've clicked on that link, it's going to redirect you to another page, and you need to go to the bottom of this page to find the CNZ project budget template. Click on that, and that should download to your desktop, and you'll be able to start working on that. Kapai, so here's the CNZ budget template. Now, if you're used to using Excel and used to using our budgets, then this is pretty straightforward for you. Just make sure that you always fill out the CNZ request column. For everybody else, there's another online template that we can follow, so I'm going to go over to that one now. Kapai, here we are back at the how much page, and we're going to scroll down to the bottom of this page where it will give us another option to create a budget from our online template. Now I'm going to go into here and I'm going to click create new. And a new box will pop up. Now there are two sections, the expenditure and the revenue. Expenditure is all the costs associated to your project, whether it's personnel costs or material costs, production costs, all of those things, all the things that cost you money, they need to go into the expenditure. Revenue is where we might reflect any other sources of financial support towards your project. Be sure when you're adding your notes into the revenue that you also add in the expenditure that you're requesting from Creative New Zealand as well. Otherwise your budget will show up having a deficit of whatever you've requested from Creative New Zealand. So just to give you a quick example, I'm going to add a new record. A Dropbox will pop up. I'm going to click on this Dropbox. I'm going to click on the one that says wages for Kereama Te Ua. This is wages, and I'm going to fill out amount budgeted. So I've budgeted $20 for Kereama, and I'm also going to request that Creative New Zealand pay for that $20 towards his fee. Now I also need to reflect that in the CNZ request column. Here it's $20. Now you'll notice here that at the bottom, your budget should balance back to zero. All budgets should balance back to zero. Well, not all, but ideally. Ka pai? Make sure you save every single time. So I'm going to click on that, and that's saved to my draft. All right. All right, so you've filled out your budget, you've done your expenditure, and you've done your revenue. Be sure that you come back to this page. This is the how much, and you fill out this section. So the overall amount that we're asking for, from memory, I think was $20, $20 from Creative, requesting that from Creative New Zealand. The total cost of the project was $20. At the bottom here, you'll see that there's a box for you to complete or fill out, and this is for you to give out any other details that you may not be able to add into the templates around your budget itself. Ka pai? All right. Making sure every single time that you save your application. All right, support material. Now this is where you can include any information about your project. Give us an idea about who you are, what you want to create, and how you're going to create it. Now this could be examples of previous work. You may want to supply us with a timeline of your project, any other agreements or letters of support towards your mahi. You might want to also include CVs, any bios from the people that you're working with, and of course attaching your budget or any quotes that are associated to your project. Now keeping in mind that you're only allowed to submit 5 pieces of support material. So what I advise is that you save, so if you're collecting letters of support, save that as a PDF, and then I'll attach that PDF into the application itself. That way I've got all the letters of support and I've only used up one of those attachments that I'm allowed to use. Ka pai? So once we've completed all of the sections, all of the tabs of this application, we're pretty much ready to sign the application and submit it. Before I do that, I'm going to go back to the start to our checklist at the bottom of this page, and just to make sure that I've got everything that I need. I've ticked all of these boxes and collected everything that it's asking me for. All right, I'm going to go back to the sign page, and I'm going to click on sign, and I'm going to sign this application. Once that's done, I'm going to click on validate. Ka pai, so it looks like the validation is complete and everything is filled out in the application. Now, just keep in mind that you can still edit at this stage, but once you hit that submit button, there's no coming back. So make sure that you've got all the information, all the relevant information pertaining to your project, all the support material. You've covered all of those questions that we spoke about earlier, because once you hit that submit button, there's no way for us to be able to unsubmit it for you to add further details. So there it is. That's how you apply for the Arts Continuity Grant in our portal. If you have any questions at all, please email us or get in contact with us. I'm going to drop our email address in the description below or in the line below. Please, kawe whakamā, pātai mai, we're here to help. If there's anything else specific to the guidelines, everything that you need is on our website. So please have a little look through there to make sure that you've got everything covered before you give us a call. We are experiencing high volume of calls at the moment, but that's fine. We're here to help. So kei konei mātou ki te awhini i a koutou. Tēnā koutou katoa.